Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. It is a cool, crisp evening for baseball here in the Motor City. And tonight, the first leg of the Tigers' 7-game homestand comes to an end. We bring you Game 3 in this series featuring the Detroit Tigers and the visiting Milwaukee Brewers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pep alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us here for the series finale. Tigers, again, just could not get the offense going last night, Rod. And to say they have been hit or miss might be an understatement.
As a matter of fact, in the last 3 games, all losses by the Detroit Tigers. They're 2 for 21 with runners in scoring position. All they need is to relax a little bit, somebody get a big hit, then somebody will follow. That guy for me tonight will be Miguel Cabrera. They go as he goes, and I think Miguel's probably going to have a good game tonight.
All right, let's talk about the pitching matchup in this one. Kyle Loesch will go for Milwaukee. Shane Green, the good news is going for the Tigers.
Loesch coming off his best start of the year, 8 innings and 5 days ago against the New York Metropolitans. You see his career numbers. He's been pitching a long time in the big leagues, 145 victories against 132 losses. Green, he left his last start after 5 innings with a little tingling in the fingertips, and he's pronounced himself healthy to go. He took an MRI. It came back negative. Let's look for Shane Green to go out there and pitch the way he's pitched in his last couple of outings, which have been really good.
And let's look for the Tigers to get a win tonight. And for a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Matt Shepard. Coming up tonight, Anthony Ghostman steady out there in center field. Tigers Brewers next. To wrap up this series against the Tigers, Shane Green on the hill, presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Shane Green has been pretty good in his last couple of starts, although he only pitched 5 innings in his last start against the St. Louis Cardinals. He checks in with a winning record, 4-2. He's got a fastball that moves all over the place, about 93. He's got breaking ball and a changeup as well.
So who will Shane Green face tonight? Here you go. Their starting lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. For the Brewers, Carlos Gomez leads it off. He's having a really good series. Parra, Braun, and Lind will follow. Aramis Ramirez at third. Chris Davis in left. You got Sardinas, Herrera, and Maldonado rounding it out for Milwaukee. And we're ready for baseball tonight as Carlos Gomez leads it off. The center fielder for the Brewers. Shane Green set to go to work. And the first pitch tonight is swung on and missed by Carlos Gomez.
He doesn't get cheated, does he?
Did not on that swing, and he hadn't been cheated all series long. 5 for 10 with 4 RBIs in the series for Gomez.
Yeah, they have not been able to stop Carlos Gomez.
Green ready with the 0-1. Backed him out of there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's a good two-seam fastball at 93. He made Gomez move his feet. That opens up the outside corner for a good breaking ball should he want to throw that pitch right here.
Grounded foul. The count goes 1-2.
He did throw the breaking ball here. You can see McCann is set up on the outside part of the plate, but he hung this one right over the heart of the dish, and he got away with it. And Gomez pulled off of it.
Ooh, those end up in the seats a lot of times. Here's another bender, but that one missed inside. 2-2. On deck, Gerardo Parra in the number 2 spot for Milwaukee. Brewers have won the first 2 games in the series. The Tigers offense has been in a slumber the last 2 nights. Checked it. They will appeal. Did not go, and the count fills now 3-2. Gomez 4 home runs this year. He's knocked in 17. Gold Glove winner a couple of years ago for Milwaukee. Here's the 3-2. And he got him, strike 3. Gomez knew it. He took a couple of steps to first and then a right-hand turn.
Outstanding fastball at 93 miles an hour right on the outside black to get the strikeout of Gomez. Let's take a look at the Tigers' starting defense. It is presented by Beaumont Health System. Cespedes, Ghost, and Martinez in the outfield. McCann back behind the dish here tonight. 19th start of the season. He has not made any mistakes behind the plate.
Here's the number 2 hitter, Gerardo Parra. 2 out of 3 in the ball game last night, and he pops it up. Shallow left center field. Ghost cruising over. And 2 up and 2 down. Well, we mentioned it's a bit breezy and cool here tonight. Field conditions are presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. 56 in game time. Cloudy, overcast, and the Tigers and Brewers wrapping up this series. It is without question a jacketed crowd. The lights are on here at Comerica Park. Ryan Braun stands in with 2 outs. Batting only .259 this year, but he's had 3 hits in the series, including a home run in last night's game. And Braun takes strike 1. He sits safely now in 11 of his last 13. Green's 0-1 pitch. Bouncing ball to third. Right there, Castellanos. Shane Green has an easy 1-2-3 first inning. Good start for the Tigers tonight. Off for Detroit. Tigers lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be Ghost, Kinsler, and Cabrera in the top three. JD Martinez, well, it's good to see him hot now. 10-game hit streak. Cespedes to the left. Tyler Collins, the DH again tonight. So you got Castellanos, McCann, and Iglesias rounding out the Tigers starting nine, and they are facing the right-handed offerings of Kyle Loesch.
Yeah, Loesch comes in with 3 wins, 4 losses, and earned run average that's approaching 6. He has a fastball that will top out at 92. He's got a slider, he's got a changeup, and a curveball, and he will throw all 4 of his pitches to the right-handers and the left-handers. Usually stays away with his fastball.
Loesch had a really good start his last time out, but otherwise the numbers are elevated this year as Ghost shows bunt, takes a strike. Anthony batting .324. He's hit 1 home run this year. That was a leadoff home run against Corey Kluber back in Cleveland in April.
And Loesch has made quite a few starts against Tigers hitters over the years, most of those starts coming as a Minnesota Twin.
Loesch now 36 years of age, born in Chico, California. Ghost in the series is 1 for 8. Trying to get something started here in the first inning for the Tigers. Lifted in the air to center field where Gomez is camped. 1 out.
Let's take a look at the Milwaukee Brewers starting defense. Is brought to you by Tim Hortons. Davids, Gomez, and Parr in the outfield. Sardinas, Herrera up the middle. Lynn, Ramirez on the corners. Maldonado, he's a catcher. And they've had a difficult time of picking up the baseball and getting it across the diamond this year. 3 errors in this series, 34 total on the season, which is second most in the majors.
Conversely, the Tigers have been one of the best teams in the majors defensively. And one of the reasons is Ian Kinsler, who stands in with 1 out. Kinsler at .314 has walked 3 times in the series, otherwise is 1 for 5. Loesch with the 1-0.
And Tigers bats in the last 3 games going back to Sunday night in St. Louis. All 3 of those games they lost. And they are 2 for 21 with runners in scoring position. .95 batting average.
And really overall in the series not a whole lot better. They're batting just $190 in this series. They had been going really good the previous 3 games. They've been slowed with men on base and men in scoring position. It's fouled back out of play down the first baseline. 2-2 now on Ian Kinsler. There's Cabrera waiting on deck. Kinsler has 49 hits already this year. Here's the 2-2. Chopped in front of the plate. Maldonado will take it. And Kinsler is out, 2 away. So they'll pitch to Cabrera the way they would like to pitch to him with the bases empty. Miggy extending his hitting streak to 7 straight, 1 RBI shy of 1,400 in his career. Seems like it's a different milestone every night. He had the 400th home run in St. Louis over the weekend.
For sure.
Cabrera lines one to right field, base hit. Solid single the other way. It'll be an 8-game hitting streak now for Miggy.
Miggy just kind of taking what the defense gave him on this particular at-bat. He laced the ball the opposite way. Tremendous concentration. Fastball down and away. McGill, one of those powerful right-handed hitters that's not going to try to pull that ball. He does everything right, and because of that, he's rewarded with another base hit.
3rd hit this series for Cabrera. That'll bring up JD Martinez, batting in the cleanup slot for the Tigers with Victor out of the lineup. Ball 1 on JD. And so Martinez now with a 10-game hitting streak. He's had a double in this series. He's knocked in 18 this year. 1-0 from Loesch is hammered to center field. Gomez on the run, still going, and he'll run it down to the gap. No runs to hit, 1 man left, 1 in the books here at Comerica. Comerica Bank, raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Jeep, come discover great deals during the Jeep Drive and Discover event. And by Kraft, individually wrapped singles, make something amazing. Back here at a chilly Comerica Park, the Tigers and Brewers get together. Final game in this series. And it'll be Milwaukee coming up with Adam Lind to start things off, then Ramirez and Davis. In there for a strike on Adam Lind. 2 out of 5 with a home run in last night's ball game. Part of the back-to-back-to-back home runs that the Brewers put together. Green missing outside. That was in the big inning that the Brewers had. It was a 6-run inning that pretty much set the tone. It was the 3rd inning. Fouled at home plate. 1-2. They've got the shift on against Lind. Former Toronto Blue Jay. In fact, he spent parts of 9 years with the Jays. Battled some injuries there. Backed him out of there. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I like what Green is doing here early in the contest. He's not afraid to throw that fastball inside. He did it to Gomez, and he's done it here to Adam Lind. And one of the reasons why they're playing him to pull, you can see he's got 12 hits in that direction. And does Lind.
And give up the entire left side of the infield. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Second strikeout of the ball game for Shane Green.
Green's got some life on his fastball here tonight. That one at 94 miles an hour. He struck out the leadoff hitter Carlos Gomez on a 93-mile-per-hour fastball. This is a 4-seamer. You can see the ball come right off the fingertips.
Here is Aramis Ramirez. Couple of hits in the series, both home runs. Last night a solo shot. 5 homers on the year now for Ramirez, and he's been hot. Fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now you talked about his 2 homers in the series. Here they are. He got Kyle Lobstein on the first game of the series, and last night he got Anibal Sanchez, a hanging breaking ball that He shot over the Tigers bullpen about 3 rows deep in the left field stands.
Ramirez in his last 18 games has 5 home runs. So he's starting to heat up for the Brewers. 335 in that stretch as well. Swing and a miss, and Green on a roll early in this one. 3 strikeouts.
He's got some life on his fastball. He's already thrown a really good changeup, and he's thrown a couple of decent breaking balls. Here's another breaking ball to get Ramirez to swing right through. It's a slider grip.
5 in a row to start the ball game for Shane Green. That'll bring up Chris Davis, the Milwaukee left fielder. Strike 1 on Davis. 0 for his last 14 now. He is 0 for 8 in this series. Tried to check it. He was jammed on that play, but he went around. Mark Carlson down at first base. Easy call for Carlson. Here's the 0-2. Davis checks in tonight at 226. He's been a pretty good power source for the Brewers the last couple of years. Has 3 of them this year. Now the 1-2.
It's a good idea there by Green and McCann. Throw the fastball upstairs to see if they could get Davis to swing at it. They just didn't get it up high enough.
Sardinas on deck. Thought about it, but it missed outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
If you miss with your breaking ball, that's exactly where you want to miss with it. You can't get hurt in that area where Green delivered that last pitch.
Now the 2-2. Drilled to left field, base hit. 2-out single for Chris Davis.
He came back with a 93-mile-per-hour fastball after the breaking ball, but he missed his location. And McCann wanted the ball away, and it leaked right back over the heart of the plate, and Davis turned on it.
So that'll bring up Sardinas. He's had a decent series, 3 for 8. He was called up from Colorado Springs, their AAA team, on Friday. And Sardinas takes outside 1-0. Luis grew up in Venezuela, and like many Venezuelans, grew up idolizing Omar Vizquel, the current Tigers first base coach, who starred for so many years in the big leagues, mostly with the Indians, and is probably headed to the Hall of Fame. Or at least is deserving of it. The 1-0. Strike called. 1-1 on Luis Sardinas.
And number 13 has been a very popular number among Venezuelan shortstops. Although Omar doesn't wear 13 here, nor does Sardinas, but it was Luis Aparicio, and then it was Concepcion. Omar Vizquel all wore number 13.
Chopper foul down the first base line.
All young middle infielders from Venezuela, if they can get that number 13, that's the one that they always ask for.
It's gold standard. Omar Vizquel, for as dazzling of a defensive shortstop as he was, had over 2,800 big league hits. And he gets a chance to work with a pretty good one in Jose Iglesias here in Detroit.
Right.
Green ready with the 1-2. Another foul back at the screen. Brewers come in tonight at 15-25. They've won the first 2 games in the series, and by winning the first 2, they guarantee themselves to win this 3-game series. Only their second series win on the road this year. Craig Counsell taking over for Ron Renicky, who was let go. They are still 11.5 back in the National League Central. The Cardinals off to a great start this year. The chopper back up the middle. Kinsler, long throw is in time for the out. Nicely done by Ian. Sardinhas is out. So are the Brewers on our way to the bottom of the second.
This every night. He probably could have gone to second here, the easy route to get Chris Davis, who was running from first base, but he elected to surround it and flip it over to Miggy very accurately and to get Sardinhas.
So in a scoreless ball game, we go to the bottom of the second, and the Tigers will send Cespedes to the plate against Kyle Loesch, who pours in a fastball strike. 0-1.
And last year, Ian Kinsler won the Wilson Defensive Player of the Year award for a second baseman. How do you not get the Gold Glove, but you're the Wilson Player of the Year?
Yeah, if you're winning some kind of award, that means there's a split decision apparently on who they thought was the best defensive second baseman. But Kinsler, we have seen day in and day out.
He's a gamer.
Is one of the best. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cespedes, trying to get it going. Cespedes 0 for his last 9, and take care of that with one swing here as it bounces over the wall and left. That'll be a ground rule double for Yoenis.
Yoenis Cespedes, throughout the first couple of games of the series, he's been swinging and missing an awful lot at breaking balls that aren't hittable. This is a hittable breaking ball, and he stays with it long enough to whistle it up the gap in left center field for another extra base hit. He's got a ton of extra base hits this year.
He has 20 to be exact. And now the Tigers have a golden opportunity to get a run in here as Collins, the DH, stands in. And Tyler looks at a strike. 0-1.
And Collins has got a job to do here. He's got to hit something to the right side of the infield, or hit it through the right side of the infield.
Second straight start for Collins as the DH. Here's the 0-1. Left the strike zone there. Now it's 0-2.
No hits up there.
That was not even a borderline pitch. That was way out of the strike zone. 0-2. Runner goes. Here comes the throw to third. It's into left field. Cespedes is up and he will score. He steals third again. It's his second steal of the year, and this time he comes in on the throwing error.
And the pitcher, Loge, pretty much had forgotten all about Cespedes. He had about 7-8 steps underneath him before that ball was uncorked by the catcher, Maldonado, into left field. And Cespedes alertly gets up with the help of the third base coach, Dave Clark, and he's able to score the first run of the game.
So Yoenis doubles, steals third base, and scores on the error by the catcher on the throw. 2-2 is rolled to the right side. Diving stop by Lynn. Pitcher covers, and he is out at first base. Well, Loesch, nice job of getting there. Nice play by Lynn.
Lynn, a couple of steps and a dive to his right. A right-handed thrower probably would not have made this play, but because he has the glove on the right hand, he's able to reach out with a dive and make a play. And a nice feed to Loesch, who was standing on the bag, waiting for the throw.
Collins got down the line at a pretty good clip. Here's Castellanos with one out. Nick batting .232 is 1 for 8 in this 3-game series. Fouled off 0-1. Loesch this year was the opening day starter for Milwaukee. The first time in 5 years that Yovani Gallardo did not start on opening day. He was traded away. The 0-1. Bouncing ball foul outside of the bag at third. 0-2 on Castellanos. Loesch, good year last year, won 13 games, ERA in the mid-3s, made 31 starts. Probably would have won a few more games had it not been for the 7 blown saves he had behind him last year. The 0-2. Soft line drive to center, base hit. 1-out single.
It's a nice job there by Castellanos. After falling behind, no balls and 2 strikes, he simply waited back long enough on the changeup that was fading down and into him. He pulled the bat knob through first, didn't hit it all that hard, but still found some grass in center field for a base hit. Not a good 0-2 pitch there thrown by Loesch.
Here's McCann. He has hit safely in his last 4. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Ryan Holiday got the start in last night's game. McCann caught game 1 and was 1 for 3 in that game.
And typically 0-1 counts. Loesch goes to either the fastball or the slider, so it's pretty much something hard. There's a slider.
0-2 on James. Foul tip into the glove. That'll be strike 3. McCann is out of there. Loesch has his first strikeout of tonight's game. Hey, stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game, where we select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by the 2 for $5 mix or match filet of fish and 10-piece McNuggets. Here's Iglesias. 339 average for Iglesias. Good for 3rd in the American League entering play. He'll look at strike 1. Jose has hit safely in 9 of his last 10. It really has been a very, very consistent start for the Tigers shortstop. Had the game-winning hit on Saturday in the 10th inning in St. Louis. The 0-1. Tried to bunt. 0-2.
Last 5 or 6 years, there has been a lot of talented players that come to the United States from Cuba and really contribute in the major leagues. Some outstanding baseball players.
And a few of them in this division. I mean, you got Ramirez and Abreu over in Chicago. Iglesias, Cespedes here in Detroit. Havana, Cuba, the hometown of Jose Iglesias.
Kendrys Morales in Kansas City.
Yeah, forgot about him. The 0-2. Just off the plate. Cespedes, a big part of this inning, double steal and scores on a throwing error. Loesch with the 1-2, fouled off. Top of the order, waiting on deck, Anthony Gose. Tigers getting an early run in this game. They scored just once in last night's game and twice in the first game. Chopper to the shortstop. Sardinia's quick throw is not in time. Boy, Iglesias beat that one out. It's an infield single. Let's see if the Brewers want to challenge here.
Yes, they do.
Based on that replay, they probably are going to want to. And Craig Counsell says, yep, we're going to challenge this one. So hold everything. Right now it's an infield hit for Iglesias. That may change.
Iglesias already with 9 infield singles this year. This would be number 10 if it's not overturned.
Boy, that was quick. He's out.
That might be the quickest replay we've seen in a couple of years.
Like ever. It literally was less than half a minute, I think. So Iglesias is out. That's all for the Tigers. They'll settle for 1 run in the inning. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Our T-Mobile game changer. And how about what Bryce Harper has been able to do, Rod, in his last 12 games?
He's been awesome. .535 batting average. He's left the building 10 times in his last 12 games. And a lot of his home runs have gone the opposite way.
Yeah. He's been a game changer, no doubt, for the Nationals. They continue to climb back into their division.
Yeah, they're back up to first place now.
Yeah, they're drawing even with the Mets, both at 23 and 17 coming into play today. Shane Green back at the hill. Herrera leads it off. Elian Herrera batting .227. He'll be followed by Martin Maldonado and then Carlos Gomez. That replay, by the way, just only 39 seconds to make the call that Iglesias was actually out on that final out of the second inning. 39 seconds. I mean, I haven't seen the numbers, but that has to be the fastest replay we've been involved in.
It is the fastest that I can remember, for sure.
Here's the 2-2. These are apparently our angle from center field. The super slow-mo dyno cam, they call it, and that was why it was such a quick determination. It was nice and crystal clear.
Super slow-mo dyno cam.
It's a pretty sweet name,
right?
And he missed high. 3-2 now on Elian Herrera.
And Green really establishing his fastball here tonight. He's thrown a lot of fastballs. He's thrown 36 pitches, and a good majority of those have been fastballs anywhere from 92 to 94.
Herrera called up when Scooter Gennett was sent down to the minor leagues.
Green needs to continue to work on his changeup. His numbers against right-handers this year, really no problem. Sub 200 batting average.
Right to the first baseman, Miguel Cabrera.
But lefties hitting nearly 350 against Green.
Time for a game break now. We check in with Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. Dallas Keuchel won that ball game. He's 6-0 now for the Astros, who will come into Detroit tomorrow at 27-14. Imagine that.
Some of their numbers are crazy. I mean, they lead the league in stolen bases and home runs, but they strike out a ton. And they're batting just .229 coming into play today as a team. But yet they have racked off that many wins.
Pretty hard to believe. There you go. 27-14 out west. Angels 6 games back. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Maldonado. Martin just 1 for his last 25 recently. In fact, on Monday snapped an 0 for 19 slump. Here's the 1-2. Bouncing ball to short. Iglesias a step to his right. Maldonado is out. Here's the Houston series coming up, and don't forget tomorrow's a day game here at the ballpark.
Altuve, he's been slowed down lately, but he's the one that gets it going for them. And Kobe Rasmus is doing a decent job for them. He's hit a few home runs. Carter, he's been off to a slow start, but he's starting to pick it up lately, driving the ball out of the ballpark. And Carter playing much better defensively this year at first base.
Little pop-up back at first, and Cabrera can't quite get it, but it lands foul. So Gomez still alive.
Mickey almost got there.
Gomez struck out in the first. Two out, nobody on. We're in the third. And Gomez fouls it away.
Of course, we know Miguel can make that play. How about just a couple of days ago? in foul territory, and then he comes up and fires a strike over the third base for the double play. Very heads-up play by Miguel.
That's down the left field line, hooking though, and that'll go foul.
And then it looked like he was having some fun with the fans in the seats, telling them what in the world was he thinking about.
Again, the 0-2. Gomez going up there hacking, fouls another one back to the screen. Shane Green has struck out one in the first. He struck out two more in the second. Drilled to center field, sinking in for a base hit.
Surprised that the Milwaukee Brewers have not made Green and tidy up his glove a little bit. He's got a string that's hanging from his glove, and usually that's a distraction for the hitters.
Wow, you're not kidding, are you?
As a matter of fact, he's got strings hanging all over the place.
No complaints yet. Here's Parra. 316 for Parra this year. Fly to center field in the first.
And Gomez continues to roll. That's his 6th hit of the series.
Snap throw back to the bag, and he got in there. McCann comes up throwing. He's done that a couple of times on this homestand.
I like it. The Tigers worked on this a lot in spring training, and McCann has carried it into the regular season. It's a predetermined play between he and Miguel Cabrera.
Here's the 1-0. Runner goes. McCann's throw down to second, not in time. Stolen base for Gomez.
And Gomez had a really good jump, and McCann had very little chance at throwing him out.
Five out of 7 this year now for Gomez. Tying run out there at second base. And Parra trying to plate him with 2 outs. He's got a 2-0 count. A little bit outside, 3-0.
Good pitch. And now the fact that you've fallen behind 3 balls, no strikes to Parra, there's really no need in giving him anything good to hit. You've got a base open. You've got 2 outs. I know Ryan Braun is in the on-deck circle, but Parra is the one who's been sizzling hot lately.
And he caught the outside corner, 3-1. Parra might be an attractive piece if Milwaukee's out of the race at the deadline. Here's a guy that can play all 3 outfield positions. Good hitter. In fact, he's also been taking some ground balls at first base.
He'd be a nice 4th outfielder for a team in contention at the trade deadline.
Down the left field line, foul.
Defensive replacement late in games. He's won a couple Gold Gloves. He has a rocket for a throwing arm.
There's Braun waiting on deck. All 8 of the runs last night scored by Milwaukee came with 2 outs. They're trying to keep that magic going again here tonight. Three-two. Got him. Strike 3. Parra caught looking. Inning is over. No runs, a single. They strand a man at second base, and Green catches Parra looking with a breaking ball. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Miguel Cabrera will hit 3rd. Number 3 tonight at Comerica Park. Cloudy, overcast evening. 56 right now at the ballpark, temperature-wise. Anthony Gose starts it off.
We might see Gose attempt to bunt for a base hit here. Get something going.
He'll drag it down the first base line, and he is out at first base. Nice play by Elian Herrera.
It really was, and a terrific try by Anthony Gose. Just a little bit too hard with the bunt. Didn't deaden it enough. It's a breaking ball, and because it was a breaking ball, that allowed Herrera, the second baseman, to see that Gose was bunting. So he got a little bit of a head start. He took a couple of steps and came in. He grabbed the ball right after it came off the grass and shuffled it to land for a nice play, but I like the idea by Gose.
It'll bring up Ian Kinsler. That's in for a strike.
Tigers have bunted for quite a few base hits this year. Kinsler's done it. McCann has done it. Rajay's done it. And Gose.
The 0-1.
Matter of fact, McCann has 2 bunt base hits.
Well, Kinsler caught looking, and Loesch carved him up on 3 pitches, and there are 2 gone. It's the second strikeout now for Loesch. The Bernstein advantage brings you the pitcher-batter matchup, and it involves Cabrera and Loesch. And Miggy is 5 for 14 against Loesch,
with a couple of home runs. His first time up, he whistled a base hit through the right side of the infield.
And that extended his hitting streak to 8 straight as he looks at strike 1.
Miguel's such a smart hitter. He's usually one step ahead of that starting pitcher out there. He knows exactly what you want to try to get him out with. And when you throw him that pitch, a lot of times he's sitting there waiting for it. Doesn't watch a lot of video. Just very gifted in retaining information from previous meetings.
Tigers a run on 3 hits, and Milwaukee no runs, 2 hits.
Good to see Green come out and pitch as effectively as he has done so far here tonight after leaving his last game after pitching just 5 innings with that tingling and that numbness in his right hand.
Well, he'd given up 5 hits over 5 innings, no runs, came out of the game. We were a little bit surprised that he did, knew something might have been wrong, and fortunately he's able to make his next start. Here's the 2-2. He'll get back out of play. Cabrera this year has been walked intentionally 6 times. And now, especially with Victor Martinez out of the lineup, you might see that number climb a little bit. Victor on the 15-day disabled list. Inside, and the count on Miggy now 3-2. Kyle Loesch came in 21 appearances over his career against Detroit, many of those with the Twins, but he had an ERA of 5.66 versus Detroit over the years. Really, some of his best years came with the St. Louis Cardinals. He had a couple of stops in Cincinnati and Philly, but he was 20 over 500 in his time with the Cardinals. That's a pretty good success. Now, granted, they had some pretty good teams. And still do. Swing and a miss. Down goes Cabrera. Loesch strikes out a pair here in the third. A 1-2-3 inning. At 7:08, fans are invited to stay after the game for the fireworks spectacular. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Fireworks coming up on Friday. You don't want to miss it. Ryan Braun stands in. The Brewers offense through April the 25th, well, not so good. Since then, a whole lot better. 33 home runs since the 25th of April.
They've won 10 of their last 17 games.
Ooh, that's driven deep to left field. Cespedes can only turn on this one, and it's back into the seats for a home run for Ryan Braun. His 10th of the year, his second of the series.
The majority of Ryan Braun's home runs this year have not gone to left field. As a matter of fact, that's just his second home run to left field. It's a hanging breaking ball thrown by Shane Green, and Braun didn't miss it. And as soon as he hit it, he knew it was gone.
So did Cespedes, who gave it a courtesy look. 1-1 ball game now. Lynn fouls it away 0-1. Adams struck out of the second inning. So add another home run to the totals we just showed you. There's a strike on the outer edge, 0-2. Lynn had a homer in last night's ball game. Here is Green's 0-2 pitch. Drilled to right field. JD is on the move. Hard hit ball, one gone. Well, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Here's Aramis Ramirez. Green struck him out in his only at bat. Fouled away 0-1. I know we've said this a lot in this series, Rod, but these guys are as aggressive as we have seen anybody.
Yeah, they don't let first pitch fastballs go by. If it's in the hitting zone, they're hacking at it.
The 0-1. Ramirez with 369 home runs, fifth all time among third basemen. Is look at Darnell Coles, their hitting coach, the Tigers' assistant hitting coach last year.
Yeah, DC's been walking around with a smile on his face the last couple of days.
Yes, he has. Braun has just homered to tie this game. Two balls, two strikes. Green now with the 2-2. Pulled toward third base. Castellanos with the backhand. Two gone. There's Chris Davis. Davis had the first hit of the night for Milwaukee, as Green had retired the first 5 straight. 3 of them via the strikeout. Then Davis slammed a single to left. Each ball club with 3 hits tonight. Now Green with the 1-0. Popped up. Third base side. Castellanos charging toward the dugout. So is McCann, but it's out of play. Brewers 8-7 since Craig Counsell took over with their 2 wins in the first 2 games in this series.
Craig Counsell has come full circle. used to hang out in the Milwaukee Brewers clubhouse when he was a youngster, age 7, 8, 9. His dad worked in the front office for Milwaukee. And now he's managing the Milwaukee Brewers.
It's quite a climb. Regarded as a very heady ball player, a student of the game. You know, Brad Ausmus said that before the game today about Craig Counsell.
He had a great career. He really did.
Davis fouls it off. That one caught McCann, who goes down to a knee.
Counsell was one of those guys when I was broadcasting games for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He was playing for the Diamondbacks, and on many nights we would say if Craig Counsell went to a tryout camp, he would probably not get signed. Didn't have a great arm, didn't run particularly fast, not a lot of great power, but when you add it all up, he spent 15 years in the big leagues.
That's all that matters. That could be said for a few players that have played this game. You know, the same was said for David Eckstein, the shortstop for the Angels and Cardinals. Not a big kid. It looked awkward when he threw the baseball, but plenty of smarts and knew how to play the game.
And talk about batting stances.
Yeah.
Counsell's
odd.
Was crazy.
In the air to center field. Left center. It's going to be Ghost. And that'll end the inning. Home run by Braun ties it up. When we come back in the bottom of the fourth, Craig Monroe will join us from the studio. Tigers and the Milwaukee Brewers. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen back here at the ballpark. Kyle Lohse on the hill doing a pretty good job in this ball game for the Milwaukee Brewers. One guy that faced Kyle Lohse in his career quite a bit and had good success against Kyle Lohse was Craig Monroe, who's back in the studio. Let's welcome in Craig. And what have you seen so far from Mr. Lohse? J.D. Martinez leading things off with the base hit. Well, you hit 2 home runs against Kyle Lohse. Do you remember those home runs, Simo? Wait a minute, Rod. Do you remember Simo's corner?
I do not remember.
I don't. Did we just name that corner Simo's corner?
got him talking fast now, Mario.
Simo, thanks.
What should the Tigers try to do to accomplish what they need to do here tonight against Loesch? Obviously, they have struggled with runners in scoring position. I mean, what do they need to do to try to score a few runs here tonight? Simo, you played on a really good team here with Detroit, really a couple of really good teams. And when a team like Milwaukee comes to town that's really not had that much success, I mean, you don't lay down and do you try to do too much is the reason why they won the first 2 games of this series?
Tyler Collins standing in right now. The Tigers have 2 men aboard here with nobody out against Kyle Loesch. And Simo, I wanted to ask you before we let you go, I don't know how much DHing you did in your career, but Tyler Collins, a young player, being asked now to come up here and get some DH reps. How tough is that for a young guy to come up here and do that? Hey, Craig, we appreciate it. We'll check back with you later in the ballgame. All right, Simo giving some insight as to what it's like to face Kyle Loesch, who he did so very successfully in his career. Meanwhile, a base hit for Collins has loaded him up.
Hey, really nice job here by Collins. You can see he overswung at the previous strike, which was a changeup, and Loesch came back with that same changeup. He left it up, but Collins wasn't greedy. He just simply slapped the ball the opposite way for a knock, and now the Tigers are 3 for 22 with runners in scoring position in their last 4 games. So they're getting better.
Seymour, you got one more thing to add.
What's Juju?
Bases what? All right, Simo, we appreciate it. Thanks, buddy. Here is Castellanos with the bases loaded. And he swings. He misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tigers and the Brewers 1-1 as we play here in the 4th inning, but a golden opportunity here against Loesch. Castellanos had a base hit back in the 2nd. Started with a single by J.D. Martinez. Here's the 1-1. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Not a given. You're going to get a fastball here from Loesch if you're Castellanos in the 2-1 count. And usually he picks between the fastball and the slider when he's fallen behind the hitter.
Two and one. Castellanos lines it foul down the third base line. Tigers now suddenly have 6 hits on the board, trying to break through here with a big inning. They have not had one of these this entire series.
Loesch not afraid to throw that changeup to the right-handed hitters. Now this one fades in on the happy zone of Castellanos, but Castellanos just a little bit too quick. Looks like the Vulcan change that Joaquin Benoit used to throw.
Low and away, and the count fills now 3-2 with no room on the bases. Waiting on deck, James McCann. Loesch facing the bottom 3 in the lineup here. Consecutive singles by Martinez, Cespedes, and Collins. The 3-2. Ground ball to short. They'll flip to second for 1. Herrera's relay, not in time. Fielder's choice, RBI for Castellanos, and the Tigers take the lead.
Nice clean slide there by Tyler Collins. Herrera, you got to give him some credit. He's the second baseman. He stayed in there, but Collins with a really hard, clean slide, and that's the reason why he was not able to complete this double play. He couldn't get anything on the throw.
And Nick clearly beating it out to get an RBI in the play.
A lot of high fives there from Collins, going back to the dugout on that aggressive base running play.
That'll bring up James McCann. He struck out on his only at bat so far. Ball 1 from Loesch. Loesch has finished as high as 7th in the Cy Young voting when he was 16-3 with the Cardinals. That was just a few years ago, 2012. That's it for a strike. 1-1. Cespedes, the runner at third base. Castellanos at first. McCann looks at a strike on the outer edge. 1-2.
Loesch, for the most part, when he does throw his fastball, it's to the outside part of the plate, whether it be a right-handed batter or a left-handed batter. Does not go inside very often with the heater.
McCann stays alive.
It's kind of what Dave Duncan taught when Loesch was pitching for the St. Louis Cardinals. Dave Duncan was the pitching coach, and Dave Duncan was one of the best of all time, and that's one of the things that he always taught every step of the way, whether it be with Chicago as a pitching coach or whether it be with Oakland or a pitching coach. Command your fastball down and away.
Loesch now is up to 60 in the pitch count. Slow roller towards second base. Herrera flips down there for 1. Relay in time, a double play. McCann called out at first base, and that's going to be it for the Tigers. They do go ahead though. McCann just nipped at the wire to end the inning. Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. A tight one in this ball game between these two teams. J.D. Martinez led it off with a single in the fourth inning, and his hitting streak now has gone to 11 as he scores a run, and the Tigers are up 2-1. Luis Sardinas leads it off, facing Shane Green. Bottom three against Green here in the top of the fifth. Hammered back out of play. No balls, 2 strikes.
Here's the pitch that's going to be very valuable for the remainder of the career of Green. This is circle change. And when he's able to start throwing that pitch with conviction and confidence, the right-handers and the left-handers, their numbers are going to go down against him, especially the left-handers. And left-handers coming into play today hitting .348 against Shane Green, while he still continues to master that changeup.
Chopper to short, and Iglesias has to get rid of it in a hurry. Sardinas out, 1 gone.
Iglesias has such quick feet, gets to the ball in a hurry, gets set, simply flips strikes after strike over to Miguel Cabrera at first base.
Elian Herrera line to Cabrera in his last at bat. Strike 1 on Herrera, who hails from San Pedro de Macorís, who is a name that many baseball fans will recognize. It's been a hotbed for big league talent. The 0-1 pitch. A lot of big names to come out of San Pedro de Macorís. George Bell, Robinson Cano, Rico Carty, to name a few. Tony Fernandez,
Alfredo Griffin.
There's a bunch of them. Juan Samuel. We can go on and on. Swing and a miss.
I spent one winter down there playing for San Pedro de Macorís.
What kind of report can you give us?
Oh, we had a lot of fun down there. We had a lot of fun.
So you hung out at the beach a little bit then, huh?
Yeah, we did.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Fabulous time in Dominican, and some good baseball. Great baseball.
I would love to go watch some winter ball in the Dominican Republic. I hear it is just, I mean, they're so rabid as far as being fans down there. 2-2 is swung on and missed. Tipped it actually into the glove for strike 3. Hey, celebrate Polish American Night this Friday when the Tigers battle the Astros at 7:08. Prior to the game, enjoy live polka music and dancing. For tickets, visit Tigers.com. Call 866-66-TIGER if you'd like as well. Five strikeouts now for Shane Green as Martin Maldonado stands in. Maldonado filling in for Jonathan Lucroy, who was a really big bat out of their lineup. In fact, he finished 4th in the National League in MVP voting last year, did Lucroy. That is popped straight up behind the dish. Let's see if McCann has room. Up against the screen. What a play. James McCann scaling the screen behind home. And now Craig Counsell says, wait a minute, that ball touched the screen before it landed in his glove. That's Brian Gorman, the home plate umpire.
Didn't look like that to me, but Craig Counsell probably has a better view than I did.
Here's another look. See if we can pick it up. I thought he caught it too. Looked like a catch to me, but right now Counsell wants to see if they want to challenge this play. And apparently they're being told no. Well, let's see. Wait a minute. What a play by McCann. So it looks like it's going to stand. Counsell will walk back to the bench. some can with a terrific play. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Belt Tire. Here come the Tigers now as we go to the bottom of the fifth. They still lead 2-1 in this ball game. Jose Iglesias will lead things off for Detroit. Iglesias, then Ghost, then Kinsler. Loesch back to the hill. A check swing roller to the right side. Herrera with the glove will scoop it to first for the out. One gone in the Tiger fifth inning. Back up to the top of the lineup now. Anthony Ghost. Loesch really wiggled out of a jam in the fourth inning. He loaded the bases with nobody out, got out of it by allowing just one run. He's gotten Ghost twice. Anthony 0 for 2, ground out, fly out. Again showing bunt. Strike one is called on Ghost. Tigers have had 19 games this year in which they have scored 2 runs or fewer, and that leads Major League Baseball.
That is a shocking stat with all the talent they have on the offensive end.
Big swing there.
And with the years that some of the guys are having. I mean, Mickey's getting it done. Ghost is having a good year. Kinsler having a good year. Iglesias having a good year.
Somehow, some ways, a lot of those bats have gone cold together on certain nights, and that's what happens. That's certainly what has happened in the first 2 games in this series. Tigers managed only 3 hits last night. Ghost sends a ground ball to second, and Herrera has this one. 2 up, 2 down. Here's what we're talking about concerning feast or famine. 19 games with 2 or fewer runs, most in the majors. They've had 9 games with 8 or more runs, second most in the majors.
And Brad Ausmus said today when he was meeting with the media that he feels like his team hasn't played its best baseball yet. And I think there's a lot of people out there that would agree with him.
There have been stretches, particularly at the start of the season, when the Tigers came out of the chutes on fire offensively. And there have been stretches where they have played up to the potential. Fouled away. And I guess, you know, Brad didn't want to use injuries as an excuse because every team goes through them. But Victor Martinez out of your lineup, and even when he was in and ineffective, well, that's a big piece that they're missing.
And no Justin Verlander. He went on the disabled list before the season started.
Bruce Rondon also on the comeback trail as well. Big bullpen piece, although The bullpen has been fabulous.
Rondon is getting ready to go down to the minor leagues and start a rehab assignment on Thursday. He'll pitch on Thursday in Toledo and on Sunday in Toledo.
Big Bruce would be a welcome addition. The 1-2 is fouled straight back. Here are the particulars. Biceps tendonitis. Of course, he missed all of last year with the elbow surgery. But they still have to get him to appear in back-to-back games in the minor leagues before he'll be able to come back up. That's up and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Sanchez, man, a few words.
Here's the 2-2. Popped up behind home plate. Maldonado gives a look. Got to play about a couple of rows back.
That's where we broadcast the game from right there a couple of years ago. That'd have been right in your lap.
I'd have caught it too.
You'd have caught that?
Oh, yeah. Barehanded.
Of all the places that we've done games at, I'd have to say that was probably my favorite spot.
I agree. And you know why it was my favorite? Because people were bringing us food all night long. And we got to talk to Miggy, who was in the on-deck circle, and he would actually talk with us.
That was a nice vantage point.
It was pretty good. Although we did get some pretty good food up in right field last year, didn't we?
We did. Folks are very nice. The New Amsterdam. That's where young folk hang out at.
Got the TVs, couches out there, the fire going.
It's party atmosphere out there.
There's Cabrera waiting on deck. 2-2 the count on Kinsler. Drilled to left field. Ball hit pretty good. Davis going back. Reaches, can't get it. Off the base of the wall. It's extra bases for Ian Kinsler. A double.
Another dangerous pitch here thrown by Loesch. It's that Vulcan changeup that fades down and in the happy zone of Ian Kinsler. Kinsler still looking for his first home run of the year, but his 11th double of the season.
His 300th career double. Isn't that right there why right-handers really kind of shy away from throwing the changeup to right-handed batters?
Here's what exactly right. Here's what you were talking about earlier regarding Miguel Cabrera and the intentional base on balls. They would probably go up with Victor on the DL.
Yeah, it'll be the 7th one of the year now for Miguel with first base open. They will simply say, take your base. So J.D. Martinez will have a chance to bat with 2 men on. And ball 4 to Cabrera. Here are some interesting numbers this year. The Tigers line up with Victor Martinez and without.
That's actually since 2014. It excludes games in National League parks. Obviously, when the Tigers are playing interleague games in National League parks, their pitchers hit, so the numbers are naturally going to be down. So this is only in American League parks since the beginning of 2014.
Do these surprise you at all?
Yeah, it does kind of surprise me that they've been that good without Victor.
You're talking about an MVP type caliber year that Victor had last season. So here's JD now with 2 men on. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
And JD is going to have to hit a lot with runners in scoring position because they're going to walk Miguel and to get to him. And the key for him is not to press. Just continue to do as he has done lately. 10-game hitting streak for J.D. Martinez.
Gamer with his single tonight. And that got things started back in the 4th, in which he eventually scored a run. Tigers leading at 2-1. Ground ball to third. And Ramirez will get the force at second to end the inning. No runs, a double, intentional walk, 2 men left.
Of the game. Shane Green's been on point here tonight. A steady diet of fastballs, 92 to 94. He's used his breaking ball very effectively to the right-handed batters, and he's thrown some good changeups to the left-handers. 5 strikeouts, 5 groundouts, and 5 flyouts. The out distribution this evening so far for Green.
The only run he has allowed via the home run by Ryan Braun. That led off the 4th inning.
Yeah, and that was a hanging breaking ball that 5-time All-Stars and former MVPs just don't miss.
Big hack there by Carlos Gomez to start things off in the 6th. Gomez single and a steal back in the 3rd, did not score. 1 for 2 tonight for the Brewers leadoff man. Oh, 0-2.
And last time Gomez was up, and Green was able to get ahead of him, no balls and 2 strikes, but he ended up giving up a base hit to him. Climb the ladder here with a fastball, see if he'll swing at it.
He's hit by the pitch. This time on the hand, and Gomez had a target on himself last week.
Yeah, second time this week he's been hit. He was hit on Sunday as well by Noah Syndergaard. It's a tailing fastball on the 0-2 pitch that he just couldn't get out of the way of. It looked like it got him on that right elbow or right forearm. Here's Sunday. This is Noah Syndergaard, and he got hit in the head. He left the ball game, did not return, obviously, but he got here on Monday, and he homered off Lobstein in the very first at-bat. Went on to get 3 knocks in the game, driving in 2. And he really didn't stop there. Last night's game, bunt with 2 outs. Runner on third base, doubled down in the corner again, and he's just having a lot of fun in this series. He's swinging that bat with a lot of confidence.
We'll take a look at his right forearm in that area. He's got some pretty good pain going right now. So Gomez on for the 2nd time, but this one much more painful. Green has not had a pitch in too much traffic tonight. Got him 1, 2, 3 in the 5th, but a hit batter here in the 6th starts things off. Trying to determine whether or not Gomez will stay in the game. And it looks like he will. So the tying run is on with nobody out.
Nothing wrong with his legs. If you're Green, you have to give your catcher McCann a better opportunity to throw Gomez out if he's attempting to steal than you did back in the third inning after he singled and stole second base.
Gomez last year was hit 19 times. Second highest total. Parra the batter. And Gomez draws the throw. John Jay of the Cardinals was hit 20 times last year. Gomez again back in. The Brewers tonight have been limited to just 3 hits by Shane Green. Shane came into this game having given up just 1 earned run in his last 2 starts prior to this one here tonight, and he's got another good one going this evening. Popped him up. Down the left field line, long run. Can anybody get there? Nope. It drops between a trio of Tiger defenders. Parra still alive. Green went through that stretch in which he gave up 8 runs, 7 runs, and 5 runs in 3 consecutive starts, but seemingly has turned things around in his last 2 and tonight. Now the 0-1 pitch out with the runner going. Throw down to second is high. The tag in time. Gomez caught stealing.
It's a nice job by the skipper, Brad Ausmus, who had a feeling that Gomez would be on the move, so he called for the pitch out. And it's a nice job by ever so slightly getting out the crouch by McCann. You didn't want to tip it, and throwing out Gomez at second.
Craig Counsell trying to figure out whether or not to challenge this play. Pretty close. So we'll kind of hang out here until Counsell decides. Boy, is that close. Hard to tell when the tag was applied. They are not going to challenge. So McCann now catches another. 7 of them this year, and 44% is his percentage.
That's outstanding.
Really, really good. 1-2 on Parra. The 1-2. Flyout strikeout for Parra in this game. Green now has had 87 pitches here in the 6th inning. And the 1-2. Ryan Braun waiting on deck. Bouncing ball right side, backhanding Cabrera. Green covers for the out, 2 gone. Time for a game break now. We check in with Mickey York. Thank you, Mickey. Twins continue to roll. At least they are tonight. They were 22-17 coming in. And they were just a half game behind Detroit in the standings in third place.
And 4 of the 5 teams in the American League Central are 500 or better. And the only team under 500 is the Cleveland Indians. It's going to be a very competitive division, especially the way that the Minnesota Twins are playing right now. No one really gave them a chance this season.
No, nobody expected they would be in this spot right now. Two and 0 on Braun. Braun now with 5 RBIs in the series. And he steps away again from the ball inside. 3-0.
It appears to me that Green really wants nothing to do with Braun, even though he's a left-hander in the on-deck circle.
And he walked him on 4 straight.
And this is why he didn't want to pitch to him. For the second consecutive night, he played long ball. This time, a hanging breaking ball his last time up against Shane Green. That's our Nissan drive of the game.
So Braun, 333 career in this ballpark. Gets himself a walk. He becomes the tying run at first base. It's the first walk given up by Green tonight. Here is Adam Lind. Lind is 0 for 2. Hit the ball hard his last time up. A line drive right at J.D. Martinez.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on Shane Green. He is topped out at 95 here this evening, and that 78 reading, that would be a curveball thrown by Shane.
Braun dives back in. 4 steals this year for Braun. He hasn't been caught. Lind behind in the count, 0-1. Reading an article on Lind the other day, and did you know, Rob, that he is the 17th player to play first base since the departure of Prince Fielder from Milwaukee?
I did not know that.
They've had 17 guys start at first base since Prince left.
That's only 3 years.
It's about 3.5 years. That's it. So they have really run through some guys to that position. Prince had a brief stop here in Detroit before moving out of Texas in the deal that brought Kinsler here.
Prince having a good year. He's in the top 10 in batting average, not hitting for a lot of power, but getting a lot of hits.
That one is swatted up in the air to shallow right field. Kinsler back to the grass. And then the inning will be joined again by Craig Monroe from the studio when we come back. hotly contested ball game between these two teams. Mario and Pemba. Rod Allen joined again by Craig Monroe, who's back in the studio. And Simo, it's becoming a little bit of a worrisome theme here now. The Tigers still having some trouble with men in scoring position.
How about J.D. Martinez? What is he going to have to do, Simo? Because it appears that Miguel Cabrera is going to start getting some special treatment here with Victor on the disabled list. And even when Victor was playing, teams reluctant to pitch to Miguel Cabrera. So what does J.D. Martinez have to concentrate on?
Cespedes leads things off for the base on balls here. And Simo, Cespedes has gone through some peaks and valleys, and now it looks like he's on a bit of a peak here with a good ball game tonight, but a little bit more consistency from him maybe.
And we might see Brad Ausmus manage a little bit more aggressively here because the Tigers really haven't done a whole lot with runners in scoring position by maybe starting the runner via hit and run.
Tyler Collins, the batter right now, and he looks at a ball from Kyle Loesch. How about the flip side, Shane Green, Simo? What have you seen from him tonight? He looks like he's putting together now 3 consecutive really good starts. Simo, by the way, before we let you go, last time we had you on, you talked about the positive juju you were giving the ball club. They probably hit into a double play, so I'm just got to bring up facts. That's all. Okay, you did. All right, buddy.
You want to hang around and see what we do now? That's a valid point. I think Brad will consider whatever he needs to consider if they continue to struggle with runners in scoring position. Obviously, when Rajai Davis plays, he could bunt. He could do a lot of different things defensively. He's also good, and he's also been a guy that's kind of been a real nice table setter along with Ghost. So if they continue to struggle, Rajai, he's going to get his reps.
All right, Simo, we appreciate it. Nice job tonight. All right, buddy. All right, man. Simo, Craig Monroe back in the studio tonight, checking in a couple of times with some of his observations to the proceedings here this evening. Tigers have a 2-1 lead as we play in the 6th inning, a man on, a man out. Nick Castellanos, the batter. Runner going, throw down to second, tag, and plenty of time out at second base is Cespedes.
What a throw by the catcher, Maldonado. Cespedes has already stolen one base here tonight. That was third base, but this time Maldonado was waiting for him with a quick exchange with outstanding footwork, and he threw a ball right on the bag at second base. Really, for a catcher, you cannot make a better throw than Maldonado just made. Perfect throw.
Ball 1 to Castellanos, 1-1 the count. So they're empty now with 2 outs. Tigers lead by a run. And Kyle Loesch right now, 92 pitches. His teammates have only gotten him 1 run on 3 hits. There's a big swing and a miss by Nick.
Loesch doing a nice job today. And that fastball's gotten up to about 93. He's worked in, he's worked out, he's worked up and down. He's changed speeds with the slider. He's thrown a lot of those changeups. He's just kind of pitching a real nice game here tonight, coming off pitching well 5 days ago.
2-2.
We were talking about Loesch a couple of innings ago. When he left Minnesota, he wasn't pitching very well, but you talked about his time in St. Louis. He was a whole different animal pitching for the St. Louis Cardinals.
He really took his game to a new level there.
He resurrected his career.
Fouled away.
But there are a lot of guys that resurrected their careers under Dave Duncan.
Right.
Guys that went there as struggling pitchers. Chris Carpenter, for instance, went there as a struggling pitcher, and he taught him that two-seam fastball and how to spot that fastball, and he just did really nice work.
Do you see Loesch as a possible piece maybe moving on at the trading deadline?
He could. I mean, there's some value there in a starting pitcher that has accumulated as many innings as he has and really knows how to pitch. If he stays healthy, he could definitely get big league hitters out.
Swing and a miss. He just got Castellanos via the strikeout, and that's all for the Tigers. 6 in the books. Still 2-1. Kyle Loesch has gone 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs. He has pitched well, but Shane Green has been just a tad better. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. And so you total it all up, Tigers lead by 1.
And neither pitcher really has had much margin for error this evening. And Shane Green's going to have to continue to pitch the way that he's pitching until his offense wakes up.
So Aramis Ramirez will lead things off for Milwaukee. It'll be Ramirez, Davis, Sardinas.
And the one thing he can't do, he can't not make any more mistakes. The power hitters on the inner third of home plate. He's got to stay away from guys like Aramis and Braun, Gomez. Make those guys utilize the biggest part of this ballpark. Hit the ball out to center field to Anthony Gose.
Ramirez strikeout, ground out. Off the end of the bat, foul. And it appears there is action in the Detroit bullpen. Angel Nesbitt. Bullpen has not been an issue for the Tigers. That is for certain. They've been really good. There's a strike call.
That's a well-located fastball at 93, away from the arm side of Shane Green.
Ramirez, to say the least, did not like that call by Brian Gorman. Swing and a miss.
That's the reason why he swung at the last one. This one clearly a ball, up and outside.
6 strikeouts for Shane. And he's reached 100 now. I think Green is one of the best at amount of pitches thrown in an inning. I think he's around 13, 14, something like that.
Yeah, I read
15.
something like that before his last start. Very efficient.
Which is always something you'd love to see. Has quick innings. Davis 1 for 2. Here's the 0-1. Missed it inside. Here you go. Just under 14 per inning. Only Bartolo Colon throws fewer, and that's marginally fewer. 1 and 2 on Davis.
Told you that I had a chance to watch Chris Davis play a lot of amateur baseball when he was in high school, and his dad Rodney's here tonight. And Rodney snuck away from Los Angeles to come out to watch his son play for a couple of days, and he's going to go to Atlanta.
The 1-2 inside.
His dad Rodney now runs the Urban Baseball Academy in Compton, California now.
Rodney played the minors, didn't he?
He did. So he runs that entire academy. They have a couple of those academies, those urban academies. They have another one in Houston. And there's a rumor that they're going to start to think about having one right here in Detroit.
Really?
Yep.
Here's the 2-2. Just missed 3 and 2.
This might be the next destination. Anthony Gose in center field. He's a product of the Youth Urban Baseball Academy in Los Angeles. And his sister works there now.
Here's the 3-2. Outside, walked him. That'll put a man on with 1 out. It'll be the tying run, and it's also bringing Brad Ausmus out. 106 the pitch count. He's already made the signal to the bullpen. 106 a season high for Green. Wall side windows pitching change. Angel Nesbitt, you're next. And the right-hander will come walking in. Nice job by Green. Nice hand. Shane Gray, another strong effort tonight. He will turn things over to the bullpen as we play here in the 7th inning. Tigers leading by a run, 2-1. Angel Nesbitt is the new Tigers pitcher.
And Nesbitt continues to get reps late in games. He has earned the trust of his manager, Brad Ausmus, and that really started back in Lakeland, Florida in spring training, where he pitched his way onto the major league roster.
So Nesbitt facing Sardinas. Tigers have turned an American League best 42 double plays. They could use one here. They've out-hit the Brewers tonight, 7-3.
Yeah, they're going to have to hurry if they get this guy Sardinas. He can really pick them up and put them down.
Foul away, and the count is 0-2. Sardinas has hit the ball on the ground twice in this game. The walk by Davis signaling the end to Shane Green, so Nesbitt comes on. He has stranded all 12 of the inherited runners that he's had, which is always a key stat that you look at for relievers. Bouncing ball, fair ball, just inside the bag. He got the grounder, but it found a hold, and now there are 2 men on. Tying run goes to second base.
It looked like they were playing Sardinas slightly pull Castellanos about 15-20 feet off that third baseline. And if you're going to play a guy to pull, if you're Nesbitt, you have to make sure you pitch to where the defense is playing. Castellanos well off that line at third base.
Only the 4th hit for the Brewers offense tonight, and now here is Elian Herrera. Fouls one back out of play, 0-1. Tigers got a run in the 2nd. Both clubs got a run in the 4th. Herrera this year 300 with men in scoring position. Now get a man to second for the first time since Braun's home run back in the 4th inning. Fly ball right field down the line. It's going to get down, a fair ball. It'll roll up against the wall. The tying run will score, and they're going to hold the back runner. That is Sardinas at third base. Double and an RBI to make it a 2-2 ball game. 2 very well placed hits.
Almost like a check swing off the bat of Herrera. He did not take a full swing, just kind of served it down the right field line. JD Martinez was playing well off the line as well in right field, but that would have not prevented Chris Davis from scoring.
Get foul, but it wouldn't. Barely landed fair. Infield in now for the Tigers. And Maldonado takes ball 1. Tigers bullpen has been locked down this year, but the 2 hits here allowed by Nesbitt, the single by Sardinas and the double by Herrera. Here's the 1-0. Line right to the shortstop. They'll get themselves a much needed double play. Hard hit ball right at Iglesias to Castellanos to end the inning. They will settle for 1 run. They'll go to the stretch, tied at 2.
of the game, and James McCann made a really nice grab, losing the mask, finding the foul ball, leaping up in the air, crashing up against that net and making a play. Well, I guess he didn't crash. Tumbled up on it,
maybe. We will accept all descriptions. Wallside Windows pitching change. Jeremy Jeffress is in.
And we saw him a couple of nights ago. And Jeffress has got a big arm. His fastball is topping out at 98. He has punched out 19 this year. He has walked 7. And he's been used a lot. 22 times already this year out of that Milwaukee bullpen, which is the most in the major leagues.
And he will face 8, 9, and 1. You got McCann, Iglesias, and Ghosts in a 2-2 game in the 7th.
And first fastball, he's 96 or 97 miles an hour.
Right on cue, 96.
He's just getting loose. The other day he came into the game and 14 of the first 15 pitches that he threw, 14 of the first 15 were 95 miles an hour and above. Looks like he's headed that way again tonight.
And he's quickly ahead of McCann, 0-2. Brewers got, and more specifically Loesch got McCann to bounce into a double play, which really ended the 4th inning. Otherwise it could have been a big inning for the Tigers. Maldonado flashing the signs. Rolled foul. Waiting on deck, Iglesias. Swing and a miss.
That's dirty.
That was nasty.
97. He comes back with an 80-mile-per-hour breaking ball. It's nasty. Same arm speed, same arm slot, but 17 miles per hour slower than the previous pitch.
Plenty of physical skills, to be sure. Here is Iglesias. You see why this guy was originally a first-round pick of the Milwaukee Brewers. That was back in 2006. He appeared briefly with Milwaukee in 2010. Then he was involved in that big Zach Greinke deal that netted the Royals quite a bit of talent. Escobar, Lorenzo Cain.
He's had some off-field issues, but he has matured now. And that's the reason why Milwaukee has given him another chance.
29 appearances last year out of the bullpen, an ERA of under 2. Inside, back to Iglesias out of the box, 2-1. Soft roller towards short. Sardinia surrounds it and throws him out. 2 gone.
It's a nice play by the shortstop, Sardinias. He knew that Iglesias was running. He knows that Iglesias gets lots of infield singles. Therefore, he charged that ball do-or-die fashion and had to get rid of it in a hurry. But he needed some help from his first baseman, Adam Lind, with the pick.
Iglesias was smelling infield hit.
Yeah, he was.
The second time tonight he's barely been thrown out. So with 2 gone, here's Anthony Gose trying to get something started. Strike 1 on Gose. Hitless tonight, he's 0 for 3.
Jeffress throwing more breaking balls here tonight than he did a couple nights ago.
Another one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jabba Chamberlain warming up at the Detroit bullpen. 2 runs, 7 hits for the Tigers tonight. 2 runs on 5 hits for Milwaukee. Big swing there by Ghosts. 1-2. That one darts away at 97. Kinsler waiting on deck. Foul tip into the glove, struck him out. Jeffress impressive. 2 strikeouts here in the 7th inning. Let's go to the 8th. Eastern, then at 7 p.m. it's the return of baseball night in America as on Fox as the Cardinals take on the Royals. It's an in-state rivalry, you know. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern on your home for baseball every Saturday, Fox and Fox Sports 1. Well, it's the 8th inning, and that usually means Jabba Chamberlain, and here he is.
And Jabba's looked pretty good last couple of times that he's gone out there. Fastball's been very good, firm, about 93 to 96. He's had that slider. He also has that curveball, but the curve and slider, much more effective pitches for Jabba when he incorporates a steady diet of fastballs with those 2 off-speed pitches.
Chamberlain will deal with the top of the lineup to be Carlos Gomez, Gerardo Parra, and Ryan Braun. Brewers had a fabulous chance to take the lead in the 7th, but Maldonado lined into a double play with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Gomez hit by a pitch in his last at bat. He took it on the arm. And Jabba works it home. Little chopper off the end of the bat. Chamberlain better win the race. He tagged him out. Nagy went for the ball, leaving no one at first base. Jabba had to do it himself.
It's a nice job by Jabba. He looked at Miguel. He saw that Miggy came off the bag. Miggy was not going to get there. And then he turned his attention to Gomez, and he had to make sure that he didn't allow him to touch the bag with his left hand. It's like Jabba kind of pushed him out of bounds.
Yeah, he almost body blocked him out of there. Shielding the bag with his body, and Gomez is out. Good football area, of course. Jabba from Nebraska. Gerardo Parra stands in. Not much going on for Parent tonight. Ground out, strikeout, fly out. Pulled foul down the first base line.
Yeah, Mike Guerrero, the first base coach, wanted nothing to do with that.
Don't blame him. Seven Tigers hits tonight, 5 for the Brewers as we play here in the 8th. Here's the 0-1. Tigers bullpen ERA coming into play this evening. 2.89 for their relievers. Slice to left field. Cespedes. 2 outs. Hey, follow the Tigers all season long in 2015 with MLB.com at BAT, the #1 app for live baseball. At BAT is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, and a whole lot more. Get MLB.com at BAT on your smartphone or your tablet. Big Jonathan Broxton heating up in the bullpen for Milwaukee. Here's Ryan Braun. Ball 1 to Braun. 1 for 2 with a solo homer in this game. A solo shot in the 4th to lead things off. MVP of the National League back in 2011. Jack Zarensik, who is now the general manager of the Seattle Mariners, was the scouting director in Milwaukee when Braun was drafted as a third baseman, and that year quite a few third basemen came out. Alex Gordon was playing that position back then. Braun, Zimmerman, and the Brewers decided to go with Braun. He had a great career at Miami. The 2-0 outside, 3-0 on Braun.
Well, it looks like they're treating Braun the same way that Craig Counsell is treating Miguel. Don't really want anything to do with him.
Three and 1. Braun has homered into each of the last 2 games, had a 3-run shot last night, and in Brewers history, only Robin Yount has hit more. He slides one in for a strike, and now it's 3 and 2. Adam Lind waiting on deck. Walked. Second walk tonight for Braun. Keep it going for Lind, but Brad Ausmus wants to go to his bullpen. So Chamberlain will not be able to get through the 8th. And Blaine Hardy, the left-hander, will come in to try and get the lefty Adam Lind. So Brad takes the baseball. Chamberlain departs. We'll be back. Safety planning tomorrow. The Astros are coming into town. The red hot Astros. Good matchup. Feldman Price.
Feldman not going to overpower you. 33 strikeouts this year, 10 walks, 53% of his outs have come via the ground ball. You know what David Price does every fifth day. He fills up the strike zone with mid-90s fastballs and cutters and changeups and curveballs.
So here is Blaine Hardy. He comes in now for the Tigers.
Adam Lind, the hitter in the batter's box now, really has not had a whole lot of success against left-handers this season, and that's why Blaine Hardy in this contest. Blaine Hardy also pitched in last night's game. He only threw 16 pitches in last night's contest.
0 for 3 for Adam Lind. Here are the splits on Lind. Only .227 versus lefties.
No homers against lefties. All 7 have come against right-handers.
Two-out walk to Ryan Braun has kept this inning going, bringing Hardy in a 2-2 game in the 8th. Rolled foul, 0-1. Tigers tonight have used Nesbitt out of the bullpen, gave up a couple of hits. He surrendered the RBI double to Herrera, which tied the game in the 7th. Jabba got a couple of outs here in the 8th before walking Braun. Now Castellanos going to head to the other side with 1 strike in the count and playing short right field.
Little step off move there by Hardy. Snap throw over to first base.
0-2 on Lind. So Blaine Hardy getting the call here in the 8th inning, pitching later and later into games. Opponents came in batting .250 against. Lind had a really good start to the year. .333 in the month of April, only .235 this month. Swing and a miss. Well, Hardy does his job, comes out of the bullpen, strikes out Lind, and the Brewers strand a runner. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th here at the ballpark, tied at 2. Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Well, Jonathan Broxton coming in now.
Yeah, Jonathan Broxton's got a big arm. He's got a fastball that gets up to 95 and above, but not necessarily having a good year. 6.75 earned run average in 16 games so far this year for Jonathan.
Well, Tigers have the meaty part of their lineup coming up. Kinsler leads it off here in the bottom of the 8th, trying to get something rolling here in a 2-2 game. Rolled it foul, 0-1. Kinsler, Cabrera, Martinez. Ian pops it up. Right side of the infield. Carrera's under it. And Ian is gone, 1 out.
Menards brings you the big money encounter. It's always interesting to see how they go after Miguel Cabrera on any given night. His first swing of the day was a base hit the opposite way. Then he struck out against the starter Kyle Loesch on a changeup. And then with a runner in scoring position the last time that he came up, Craig Counsell, the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers, and gave Miggy 4 wide ones.
Cabrera now at 333, 30 RBIs this year. Foul back out of play, 0-1 on Miguel. Well, the Tigers managed 2 runs in game 1, 1 run last night, and they've been limited tonight to 2 runs again. Shane Green, an outstanding effort tonight. Here's the 0-1. 0-2 on Cabrera. Two strike counts do not worry Miguel Cabrera. He hits .301 with 2 strikes in the count. Steps in here 0-2 against Broxton, who relieved Jeffress, who had an impressive 1-2-3 7th inning. Ground ball right to the first baseman. Knocked down by Lynn, but a lot of time. Broxton covers, 2 gone. Well, this Saturday at 4:08 p.m. the Tigers continue their series with the Houston Astros. They'll be coming to town tomorrow. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Don't forget a 4:08 start coming up on Saturday. JD made it a habit of hitting big home runs last year late in games from the 7th inning and beyond. Maybe, just maybe, he can do it here.
They can sure use it.
He's hit a total of 8 this season.
Anything to help them win a game here and prevent themselves from being swept by the Milwaukee Brewers.
Drill toward left center field. That's going to get down. A base hit. Gomez over to cut it off. JD thought about it, but he'll go back to first base. His second hit today. A 2-out base runner.
It's a nice job here by Gomez in center field, who has a lot of speed out there. Able to get over and cut that ball off. And to prevent JD Martinez from thinking about stretching that single into a double.
Cespedes having a good night. Single double walk. He has scored a run. Ball one. Yoenis also has a stolen base, scored the first Tigers run back in the second. A throwing error by Maldonado, the catcher, while Yoenis was stealing third. Down the right field line, that ball is slicing. Back out of play.
Chevy brings you the high-strength steal of the game. Back in the early innings of this game, a manufactured run by Cespedes himself. A double, a steal of third. Maldonado, the catcher, threw it in the left field, and Cespedes was able to score a run by himself back in the second inning.
Here's the 1-1. Right-hander Joaquin Soria tuning up in the Detroit bullpen. Two and two on Cespedes. 2-2 game in the eighth. Fouled it straight back, had a rip.
And a 97 four-seam fastball thrown by Broxton that was right down the middle.
Tyler Collins waiting on deck. Soft serve into right field, base hit. Martinez hits the bag at second. He's coming to third. He is in there standing up, and that'll be the third hit of the game for Yoenis. First and third now with 2 outs.
It's a nice piece of hitting by Yoenis Cespedes. The previous pitch was a 97-mile-per-hour fastball. Then he comes back with a 91-mile-per-hour slider off the plate that Cespedes somehow gets a piece of and hits it down the right field corner, and that allows J.D. Martinez to go first to third.
First time this season Cespedes has been reached base 4 times. And now we'll see if the Tigers can cash in as Tyler Collins will step in. Tigers tonight 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. A chance to break this 2-2 tie. Here's the 1-0. Outside, 2-0 on Collins. Tyler in his second game up from the minor leagues. There's a single in 3 at-bats tonight. Tigers need a base knock here to untie this 2-2 contest in the 8th.
If you're Collins, you have to stay ready for your 2-0 fastball.
Two and 1. Collins thought, what in the world?
Yeah, Brian Gorman helped him out a little bit there.
A little. He drive a truck through that hole. 2 balls and 1 strike. That one outside. It goes to 3-1. Castellanos on deck. This 2-out rally started with a single by J.D. Martinez, a base hit for Cespedes. Now Collins sitting on a 3-1 pitch. And he lost it, ball 4. That will load the bases.
Jonathan Broxton, even though first base was occupied, second base wasn't. And he pitched to Collins like first base was unoccupied. Didn't really want to give him anything to hit, thinking that he'd have better success against the right-hander Castellanos.
So Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach, is out to have a chat now with Broxton.
And no doubt that Rick Kranitz is reminding his pitcher and catcher that in these types of situations, Castellanos, well, he just loves to swing at the first pitch.
Nick drove in a run with a ground ball back in the 4th as a single in this ball game. 2-2, but they are loaded up. Kranitz is chased out of there by home plate umpire Brian Gorman. It's Martinez at third, Cespedes at second base, and you've got Collins at first. And now Castellanos.
There are the numbers on Castellanos when he swings at the first pitch. 333.
Swing and a miss. Just missed. Broxton wanted it. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's about to throw his 20th pitch here in the 8th inning after getting 2 outs. The Tigers have 2 singles and a walk to load the bases. Here's the 1-1. 1-2 on Castellanos.
3 straight fastballs to Castellanos thrown by Broxton, all of them at 96 miles an hour. That one up in the zone.
Broxton 1 pitch away from getting out of the jam. Here's the 1-2. Outside. 2-2 on Castellanos. Loesch pitching well through 6 innings tonight. Jeffress gave him a 1-2-3 7th, but a rally here for the Tigers in the 8th. Here's the 2-2. Foul action in the bullpen. Michael Blazek warming up for Milwaukee. Time called at home plate. Broxton didn't see the time, so he'll reset. Zone catcher Maldonado waving his arms. Again, the 2-2. The last pitch has Maldonado going out to the mound to have a chat with Broxton.
Got too much plate. Too good a pitch to hit.
So the battle continues between Castellanos and Broxton. They're loaded up with Tigers in the 8th. 2-2 ball game. Both teams have stranded 5 in this contest. Line drive, right field, slicing, base hit, and it's going to roll all the way to the wall. This will score 3 runs. Castellanos motoring to third base. He is in there standing up, and the Tigers lead 5-2. They need that.
Bell Tire will sponsor this pitch by pitch. Every fastball that Broxton threw to Castellanos was 95 miles an hour and above. He threw him one slide piece, but Castellanos got a really good look at all those heaters, finally catching up with one, slicing it down in the right field corner. Power misplays it, and Castellanos is off to the races for another triple this season.
What a huge hit for a Tigers team that was just aching for a big hit with men in scoring position.
And Broxton clearly pitched around Tyler Collins to get to Castellanos, but the strategy didn't work.
16 triples for the Tigers this year. This one was timely. The Tigers scored 3 and grabbed the lead, and a pitching change here at Comerica. We'll be back.
Time, and it is brought to you by Miller Lite. Outstanding at bat turned in by the youngster Nick Castellanos. Collins on first base after being walked, able to come all the way around from first and score.
Castellanos with a huge reaction after that ball went all the way to the wall in right field. A much needed 2-out hit with men in scoring position, and the Tigers finally something to celebrate about here tonight. The Tigers lead 5-2. And it's turned into a 4 RBI night for Castellanos, his second of his career. Here's McCann. 1 ball, no strikes on James McCann. They're facing Michael Blazek.
It was a really good at bat by Castellanos. You could see that every single fastball that Broxton threw him in the mid-90s, he was trying to hit the ball to right field.
Meanwhile, 2-0 on Castellanos, or I should say on McCann. With Castellanos at third, you might as well get him in. Here's the 2-0. Way outside. 3 balls, no strikes on James. So Blazek in place of Broxton, who retired. First 2 batters he saw here, and then the Tigers got him.
And Broxton able to get Kinsler out and Miguel out. And all the damage done here in this inning after 2 were out against Jonathan Broxton.
3-0 is ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to James McCann. Put him at first and third now. Bring up Jose Iglesias. Big walk from Collins helped set up Castellanos. First and third now. Iglesias in the ball game. 0 for 3, all ground balls. That spins it for a strike. Royals have the lead in their game tonight, so critical for the Tigers to win this game. They were 2.5 back coming into play, with Minnesota right behind them, 3 back. Oh, 2 on Iglesias.
The last time the Tigers were 3 or more games out of first place at any time during the regular season, you have to go all the way back to 2012.
It's a long time.
That's how good they've been.
And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. So Iglesias has done so with the Tigers. However, they get a huge hit from Nick Castellanos. Boy, did this come in handy. Triples down the right field line. The Tigers bust open a 2-2 tie. 5-2 Detroit.
triple by Nick Castellanos. So coming up after the game on Tigers Live, you'll hear from Nick as well as Tigers manager Brad Ausmus, plus Mickey and Craig Monroe inside the Coliseum studios. Tigers Live after 3 more outs. Mario and Rod, back to you.
All right, Justin, thank you. Well, the Tigers have a lead in the 9th, and that means time for the closer, Joakim Soria.
He's been outstanding this year, 12 of 12 in save opportunities, 15-3 in the strikeout to walks ratio, and he's retired 14 of the first 18 batters he's seen this year, so he's been money this year.
Aramis Ramirez will be the first man. Romine is now at third base. So Castellanos gets the big hit, and then he gets lifted. For Romine. Ramirez, strikeout, ground out, strikeout. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's the first time these two have met, Soria and Aramis Ramirez. At least in a regular season game. Here's the 1-1. Ooh, Ramirez didn't like it, and he let Brian Gorman know about it.
He's been beefing about the strike zone of Brian Gorman all night long.
Ripped down the left field line, fair ball. This rolls to the corner and rattles around. Ramirez on his way to second with a leadoff double.
Man, not a good pitch there by Joakim Soria. It's a hanging breaking ball.
Ooh.
I mean hanging.
Right at the belt of Ramirez. So the Brewers have their 6th hit. Tigers have 10 hits in this game now. Here's Davis. Oh, 0-1. Joakim tied for 4th in the American League with his 12 saves. He's allowed only 1 run in his last 15 outings, but he has given up a leadoff double here. And he missed up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike on Davis. Castellanos, assistant hitting coach David Newhan.
Chris Davis, outstanding fastball hitter. And should Soria want to throw him one on the 1-1 offering. He did, and he got away with it.
Seven of the 10 Tigers hits tonight have been singles. But the biggest was the triple by Castellanos. Reaching and sending it foul back out of play.
Better breaking ball that he threw there to Davis at 80 miles an hour. He got that one down. See the curveball coming off the fingertips.
Ground ball, shortstop side. Scooping is Iglesias. Runner holds, 1 out.
Iglesias really doesn't show you his arm all that often, but when he decides to show it to you, he's got a lot of arm strength from that shortstop position. Usually he just flips the ball over to Mickey, but every now and then he'll let it go, and like he does here.
Luis Sardinas now with 1 out. Tigers need 2 more outs to put this one in the win column. It would be their 24th win of the year. In there, a strike. Sardinas Single, 2 groundouts. Here's the 0-1. Chopper foul outside of the bag at third.
And Sardinius was making a bid for another base hit down that third base line. He did it the last time he was up in the 7th.
Soria established a club record 9 saves in the month of April. Fouled back out of play. 0-2 on Sardinius.
Club record, huh?
Club record. Here's Herrera waiting on deck. Joaquin is facing the bottom of the lineup here for Milwaukee. Gave up the leadoff double to Ramirez. And again the 0-2. Another chopper foul as again he goes the other way. Astros coming in beginning tomorrow. Don't forget day game here at the ballpark. Tigers have 4 more home games before they hit the road again. They'll be out west next week. Sardinius doing the best he could to stay back on that pitch. 0-2 the count stays. And McCann may have gotten that foul tip. Ground ball, second base. Kinsler has this one. That'll be the second out. Advance the runner to third, but 2 gone now.
I notice on those last 2 pitches thrown by Soria that McCann likes to keep his right hand in front of his body even when there's not a runner on first base. And the reason why you keep it in front of your body when there's a runner on third base, maybe there's a threat for him to steal, but with a runner on second or with a runner on third, you might as well get that hand behind your back. Must be a reason for it. He must feel more comfortable with the hand in front of the body.
I would imagine that would be it. Herrera, their last chance. Ball 1 to Elian Herrera. Doubled in a run in the 7th to tie it. Brewers had a really good chance to go ahead in that frame, but a line double play with runners at second and third ended the inning. Then the Tigers got 3 in the 8th. In there is strike 1-1 on Herrera. Soria with the 1-1 pitch. Toward left field on the move, Cespedes, and the Tigers will win the 3rd and final game in this series.
It's a good win for the ball club, especially with the Houston Astros coming to town with the best record in the American League.
Castellanos had the big hit tonight. The bases clearing triple in the 8th. That turned out to be the game winner. We'll be back to Comerica.